Let me transition to sports because large crowds have been showing up to see Lakers rookie Bronny James play during the NBA Summer League games in both Las Vegas and San Francisco. But his performance so far is not justifying the hype. Ladies and gentlemen, he's now 0 for 15 from three-point range. He's averaging 4.3 points, 3.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists through 4 games. He's also missed 1 game with knee swelling. These Summer League stats are not far off from the underwhelming numbers Bronny put up in his lone season at USC. Those performances have many questioning if Bronny has a real NBA future. Finals MVP Jaylen Brown was sitting courtside of the game with girlfriend Kizray Gondrezick and her former teammate Angel Reese and seemed to be caught saying, quote, "I don't think Bronny is a pro." It's all over the social media and all that stuff. That's the only reason why I posted it. Brown did not confirm or deny saying this, but did take to X to share his thoughts on Bronny after people reacted to his perceived slight, saying this, quote, "It's a flex to have your son alongside you in the NBA. It reflects greatness and longevity. Bronny has all the tools around him to be successful. I look forward to watching his growth," end quote. Beautiful, beautiful quote by Jaylen Brown because it says what most of us should be saying. We're rooting for Bronny James. We just haven't seen evidence yet that he'll succeed. That's basically what Jaylen Brown has said. 0 for 15 is 0 for 15. You can go through a stretch. You can go through all of those things. See, this is the reason why I've never seen Bronny James play. Of course, I will see him now. And of course, I would have gone to see him this year at USC had he stayed there. I wasn't really concerned about last year because when you survive a cardiac arrest at his young, youthful age, I was more concerned about him being healthy enough. Running up and down the court, the minute you're feeling some fatigue, you might be scared to death. And so I was worried about that. But I have been, and I don't want to use the word criticism because I'm not trying to criticize LeBron James. Look, man, he's LeBron James, one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. Top 3 easily. I think top 2. Better resume from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar than LeBron James. But nevertheless, LeBron James, I believe, is the second greatest player in the history of basketball behind Michael Jordan. Having said all of that, again, not criticizing, but just pointing out, that's a real tough spot he put himself in. You don't get to dial that back. When you say, "I want to play in the NBA with my son," when you say you want to be his teammate, when you indicate that you're willing to go to any team that drafts him and you'd be willing to play on the minimum salary just to be in the same uniform as your team, that's what LeBron James said in the past. Okay? Even said in the past, went so far as to say that his son was better than some NBA players now. And so you put that and heaped that level of expectation. Your heart was clearly in the right place. LeBron James should not be criticized for that. He's a dad and a wonderful dad by all accounts. It ain't for us to judge him and the love that he has for his son and how that love should be portrayed, except in certain public situations. I'm not trying to talk about a father and his son. I'm talking about an NBA player who is incredibly brilliant and savvy, making one of the greatest mistakes he could have ever made by bloviating about his son to the degree that he did in terms of wanting to play alongside him. Bronny James was an All-American averaging 14 points a game. Kendrick Perkins has been on this show on several occasions talking about you don't get to be a McDonald's All-American averaging 14 points a game. That doesn't happen. It happened for LeBron James' son. Who was the 55th pick in last year's NBA draft? We don't know who the hell that is. We do know that he got paid about $500,000. We know that Bronny James got picked 55th overall in this draft, and he's guaranteed $8 million. We know that LeBron James was talking about going anywhere his son went, even if it meant him playing for the minimum. And lo and behold, he ended up not having to at all because after Bronny James got drafted, LeBron James re-ups for over $100 million. Now, let me be very clear. LeBron James is underpaid. LeBron James deserves, I don't give a damn what his salary is, he deserves more. Because not only is he a superstar, even at the age of 40, he's also box office. Even at the age of 40. That's what he'll be this December. Even in his 22nd season. The brother is box office. So he pays for himself. Ain't about that. All I'm trying to say is that Bronny's in a bad spot because the scrutiny that's going to be heaped upon him is going to be immense. It really, really is. And then when you give him the kind of guaranteed contract, you know he ain't going to end up in the G League. He going to end up on a roster spot. Now, I don't have a problem with the roster spot because Thanasis, the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother, is on the squad, and a lot of people say, hey, he wouldn't be on the squad if it wasn't for his brother. Hell with that. Greek freak is the Greek freak. And if he wants his brother on the squad, I'm not hating on that. Nepotism happens all over the place, especially in the NBA. I'm not hating on that. I'm talking about actual playing time. What we've seen from Bronny James thus far, all I'm going to say is that unless there's vast improvement, the only time we better see him is sitting on the bench or in practice. Because if he's out there on the basketball court, nobody's going to believe that's on his merits. They're going to believe it's because of LeBron James. And you already believe in that anyway, and that puts him in a bad spot, which is why I've never watched him, because I've never wanted to have to cover him, because I don't want to do that to the kid. I want to give him an opportunity to grow and shine. It ain't his fault that his dad was out there doing what he did in terms of bloviating about his name all over the place. And I'm not saying it in an insulting way, not trying to be remotely disrespectful to LeBron James. Major props to him. He loves his son that much, man. It's no crime. It's just that, damn, you so media savvy. You know. You had to know what kind of pressure this was going to mount on his shoulders. And it's just unfortunate to see people scrutinizing Bronny the way that they're doing already. It's not because of him. It's because of his dad. And it ain't because, it'd be one thing if it was because of you're a LeBron James son and that's the only reason. No, because you can't help that. It's literally because of all the talking LeBron James did about him in terms of what he wanted for himself as a father. I want my son in the NBA. I want to play with my son in the NBA. And then obviously facilitated it happening with the Los Angeles Lakers to the point where Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick and everybody get up there and they're clapping and all of this other stuff for the second round pick. Like they just drafted the number 1 overall pick, who, by the way, we don't talk about at all. So I'm just looking at stuff like that, and I'm like, really? And then Rob Pelinka comes out, and y'all thought I was joking. I actually called the executive producer for General Hospital, Frank Valentini, about Rob Pelinka. Oh, it's just such a touching thing to see, and wow, this is just a great story. I don't have the exact words, exact quote in front of me, but y'all know what I'm getting at. Y'all know what I'm referring to, because Rob Pelinka did that after they drafted him. And I'm like, really? And the Oscar goes to... Give me a break. Stop. Okay? So I feel bad. Bronny needs time. He's going to grow. I got every confidence that he's going to be a good player. I'm rooting for him. I'm not rooting against him. I got nothing negative to say about him. 0 for 15 are your stats. 23% shooting, 7 for 31 from the field. Those are your stats. Those are actual data. Okay? So he's got a lot to work on. I'm just of the mindset that, damn, his dad knew better. His dad knew better. And I'm wondering right now, based on what we're seeing in Summer League, is it going to be good for Bronny James to even be on the bench? Because if he's in the locker room wearing a Lakers uniform during games, they're going to bother LeBron James at every turn about him. If he's in the G League, no, LeBron, he's going to be there developing and growing and getting better and getting himself ready for the NBA, going up against stiffer competition rather than being in college. That's fair. But it's also not going to put LeBron James in a position where he's got to answer about his son every day. Because I'm telling you right now, he's going to blow a gasket. LeBron's going to lose it. I don't care how composed he is. I don't care how good he is. I don't care how composed and professional and in line he has been throughout his illustrious career. Taking the high road, as he said. This is his son. There's only but so much he's going to take if he keeps getting bombarded with questions about Bronny every day, because Bronny is on that bench in uniform and in the locker room, pregame and postgame. I'm just making a suggestion. Until he's ready, he should be in the G League. Until he's ready. Only because I think if he's in the locker room, they're going to bother LeBron James. They're going to bombard him every day. And if they don't bother him, they're going to bother Bronny. And LeBron's going to lose it if you buy it. What father you know is going to sit idly by and let you bother his son, who's just trying to learn and get better and grow? I know I wouldn't. LeBron is the ultimate professional. He's ultra composed. I promise you, he's going to blow a gasket at some point if somebody keeps either messing with his son or bothering him about his son. The best way to insulate yourself from that is to make sure he's in the G League until he's ready to come on the court in the Lakers uniform and make a contribution. That's just my take. Take it for what it's worth.